Question 14. Could you please elaborate on using attention as a tool to anchor the mind?
The practice of meditation encompasses two primary methods. The first is as Vipassanã, doctrine contemplation, aimed at contemplating and discerning Dharma principles and fundamental truths of existence. The second involves employing attention as a technical means to calm and anchor the mind, referred to as Samatha, meditative technique. Since contemplation was thoroughly discussed in the previous question, question 13, this section will focus exclusively on attention. When attention is misdirected, the mind becomes increasingly disturbed, potentially leading to severe confusion and mental agitation. Conversely, when attention is properly directed, the mind gradually attains tranquility. The skill of selecting where to direct attention is a meditative technique traditionally called Samatha, symbolizing the act of pausing or settling. For those who do not engage in spiritual cultivation, their attention often wanders, drifting ceaselessly from one wandering thought to another, deepening confusion and mental agitation.
Furthermore, karma also influences attention. When one has accumulated significant negative karma, their attention struggles against constant disruptions, making concentration difficult. Conversely, abundant positive karma, or merit, punya, strengthens attention, promoting ease in concentration and inner stillness in meditation. The principles for practicing the technique of attention are as follows.
1. Avoid directing attention to the head. One must never direct attention to the area of the head, as this can cause vital energy to rise gradually, weakening foundational internal strength, thus damaging the brain and causing harm to the internal organs. The body's vital energy must be accumulated and stabilized in the lower regions to ensure the health and stability of one's brain. This illustrates the essential principle of yin, hidden, and yang, exhibited, emphasizing the importance of grounding vital energy downward, a principle of utmost importance that will be elaborated on in dedicated texts. Upon contemplating and recognizing that the mind is restless by wandering thoughts, practitioners may sometimes experience a slight degree of awareness. Right then, they can direct and guide their attention downwards to the chest and abdomen area. This approach fosters deeper mental stillness, as the true root of wandering thoughts lies in this region rather than in the brain. The brain merely reflects disturbances caused by these thoughts, not their origin. Scientific research supports this perspective, indicating that within the gut resides hundreds of millions of neurons capable of functioning independently from the central nervous system, and at times influencing the central nervous system or directing it to accommodate its demands. The enteric nervous system governs all digestive functions, nutrient absorption, metabolism, waste elimination. More importantly, it also contributes to the regulation of psychological and mental states through the gut-brain axis, notably by producing key neurotransmitters, often referred to as happiness hormones, including serotonin, melatonin, dopamine, and endorphins. These neurotransmitters are synthesized not only in the brain, but also in the gut, underscoring the profound connection between digestive health and emotional well-being. Scientific research has confirmed that over 90% of the body's serotonin, a neurotransmitter closely linked to happiness and emotional stability, is produced in the gut. As a result, maintaining optimal digestive health, along with a well-balanced gut-brain axis, naturally enhances feelings of happiness, optimism, and mental tranquility.
2. Observing the natural rhythm of breath. The second principle of attention is that it should be objectively directed to the natural rhythm of inhalation and exhalation without exerting deliberate control. The breath serves as a bridge between the body and mind, providing insight into the intensity of both physiological and mental activities. However, when attention is focused on the breath, it often strengthens naturally, which is undesirable. Thus, one must skillfully maintain a balanced approach, clearly observing the breath's natural flow without allowing it to intensify spontaneously. Even without deliberate control, practitioners should gently sustain a slow, gentle, and effortless breathing rhythm, as an increase in breath intensity often indicates underlying mental agitation. By mastering the art of observing and recognizing breath, practitioners establish a stable anchor, fostering mental stillness and reducing restlessness.
3. Directing attention to the lower abdomen. Once familiar with this practice, practitioners should further direct attention downwards to the lower abdomen. At this stage, the scope of attention narrows considerably, becoming more refined compared to the broad awareness previously maintained across the entire body or the general chest and abdominal area and breath awareness practices. Attention now converges into a subtle point at the base of the abdomen, or perineum, close to the huiyin and dantian acupoints. When attention settles deeply in such regions, the brain becomes exceptionally calm, alleviating physical discomfort in meditation, enhancing ease, comfort, and the desire to remain meditative for extended periods.
4. Finding the optimal breath intensity. The final and most crucial technique involves discovering the optimal breath intensity that allows the breath and mind to merge seamlessly. Once the breath and mind become inseparably intertwined, you will profoundly understand why the Buddha taught, "One who sees the breath sees the Dharma," or virtuous principles. Further details on this advanced practice will be provided in subsequent sections.